imagine this is the second time you met me and you're an artist and I'm a record label. And the first time I met you, we went out and we had a blast. We got so hammered. We got drunk. You damn near blacked out. You don't even remember the end of the night. We had a great time. Come back the next time you see me. I give you this deal. And I tell you, hey, this is what it is. May say it's a 360 deal where you basically get nothing. I own everything. You don't own your masters. You don't own your publishing. You have to give off a certain rhetoric. You hate that idea. You want to stay real. You want to be Jack. You want to talk about the things that you want to talk about, and you want to keep your integrity. So you tell him, nah, I don't want to do that. He'll go, I go, okay. I turn around and I turn on a TV, and then it's a video of you getting fucked in your ass. I'm not kidding.
Blackmail.
And so they'll show you the TV screen.
I don't know why I was also imagining this at like a restaurant.
No, this is exactly what's gonna happen. And they're gonna tell you, oh, do you want that to go everywhere? This is something that is sexual blackmail on a massive scale.
Wow.
Because then he had the parties with the hidden with the hidden cameras.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Mic Check Podcast. I'm Jack, and I'm here with my co-host Chiv here today.
I'm the new Chiv.
Where's Chiv today, guys? Chiv
is doing a very heroic act as we speak.
He's doing it. Yeah, well, not as we speak.
Oh,
He finished it, but he's, we haven't spoken to him. Chiv, we're happy to report he's healthy after his surgery. He donated a kidney, so shout out to him. And he'll be back in a few weeks, very momentarily. He said beforehand that he was sad that he could miss this episode because we do have a really good guest with us. Someone that this is our first reoccurring guest already.
What's up, everybody?
We got Slouch himself back. So honestly, like I said, first time we've ever had a reoccurring guest. And the reason why, I after we filmed the last episode, the first episode, which was the first episode ever of the podcast, I think I said it to you, but I said it to you later. I said it to Chiv. I said, bro, we got to have you be a reoccurring guy. That first episode went off. The fans loved it. I know you love doing it. I love doing it. I love talking to you. The people love the shorts. They were going crazy. So I was like, bro, we got to do it again. This is what the people want. And I mean, why do you think why do you think there's just all this success around just this dynamic? Do you think it's just like, are we peanut butter and jelly type shit here or what?
No, that's great, man. I'm just very appreciative. I'm very grateful to just be able to have a platform in general, just to speak my mind. I've always been that type of person that just want to speak my mind on things. And listen, you guys came to me with the opportunity to speak my mind, and you guys have really done yourselves really well with production, just with your time in trying to break down how to truly give an interview, very good back and forth. So I feel like everything was just the perfect storm,
Mm-hmm.
And you're good at what you do. And I've seen your episodes later on, and they just show how much of an improvement you made from the first episode to now, even though you were made for this. I told you beforehand.
Yes, we were talking lots. We were talking to each other, talking about how, man, we just both feel like we're doing the right thing here. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate the nice words. And we also got, like I said, my good friend, in all seriousness, this is Donny. He's my guy. I've known him just as long as I've known Chiv, and runs one of the best clothing stores in New York City.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Stash Goods. Shout out Stash Goods.
Thank you.
We'll be talking about that throughout the pod. But there's a lot to talk to you about because, look, obviously we know you're making music, but what you've been posting a lot is long videos of, breaking down, especially spirituality. We've seen that you've posted reels from the last podcast, because we talked about, for those of you guys that maybe didn't watch it, I suggest go back and watch it, because I guarantee you're going to watch this one and say, literally, you got to watch, I got to see more of this guy. And don't worry, we'll definitely have him back on soon, because like I said, this guy, he's practically a third host at this point, 2 episodes in. But what I guess, I don't even know where to start. I mean, where do we even start from here? I mean, you're posting all types of stuff about spirituality. You were reposting it. One of them got 300K views. What do you feel like about this new, fan base? Because you've gained now even more of a following since the last episode because of some of the stuff you've talked about on this podcast. So what do you think is attracting people to you?
It could be a combination of a lot of things. It could be, just the overall message, I believe, what I want to believe is the most important. Either people are already aware of this information, people have heard this information to a certain degree somewhere, or people don't know about it at all. I'm just happy that I've been able to articulate it the way that I have been, and people are obviously receiving it in a positive way. Well, not all people. A lot of people aren't receiving it in a positive way.
Who is some negative?
I know it's not even an issue, really. It's just basic nature. You're gonna have people that agree with you, and then you're gonna have people that disagree.
Yeah, that's with anything. Yeah.
So, I'm not caught up in the comments. I just know that it is what it is. I don't study what I study to then get caught up in a comment section, an echo chamber of opinions.
Right.
I'm just one of the microcosms, the macrocosm. Like if I'm gonna worry about a bunch of people in these comment sections, it's like somebody worrying about me, like getting caught up in figures and idols. It's like, no, you got to just have your opinion stated, and then whoever agrees with you agrees.
Yeah, we're all people, no matter what. I mean, in this day and age, it's like your social media following, you're paying attention to this. Oh, mean comments. At the end of the day, nobody cares about what you think. I mean, look, we get hate comments. There's been people that have commented on stuff, but there's also been a lot of love, and that's what you got to really like pay attention to.
To answer that real question, when you were talking about how the real just gained so much traction and why, I think it's just we're in that Aquarian age. So regardless of whatever stigmas are out, whatever rhetoric is being pushed, whatever agenda is being forced onto the people, there is a connected consciousness within everybody that is still piercing the veil slowly in different stages amongst different people into realizing what the truth is. Because they're showing us more than ever, but that also is something that, when I say they, I talk about the people that are in power. I talk about the people that study the stars, understand the breath work, manifestation, karmic retribution, all these, I guess you could say demonic, but it's really just the laws of the universe. It's really just understanding where to put your energy and build up your sexual energy to then put out into the world. That's
use it as power in a sense, right?
Yeah, exactly. They use it as power in a sense. So people are now sick and tired of having to deal with all of these surface level problems, and they're wondering why all these things are even happening to begin with. And now you see these young people coming out of the woodworks like myself that are reading the Bible, the Torah, the Quron, the Bhagavad Gita, getting into quantum, getting into understanding the body, the anatomy, researching history, going back into history that's not really talked about, and then going out in the forefront in public and then speaking about these things, bringing awareness. This is the awakening. And, I'm just one of many people that are doing this,
Well, let me ask you this, because that's a lot that you're reading. You know what I mean? I haven't even really read the Bible all the way through. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. So that's a lot of reading that you're doing. And I think a lot of people would say look, why should I know all this about the universe? What's even the point? I can't change anything. Why do you feel like it's important to be educated on those topics?
So I'll break it down like this. When I said that church and state are the same thing, this is what I mean by that in another sense. I spoke about the birth sequence and how the afterbirth is considered on your license. And
this is part two, direct.
Yeah. In another way is the magic that goes behind these religions, because religion is based off of spirituality, and spirituality is based off of physical but microscopic exchanges of energy that happen between a person, between the consciousness, between the physical and the non-physical.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is about Saturn. So when you understand what astrotheology has to do with government and politics and how things play out and why things are symbolized the way that they are, you'll understand that this has been a setup for thousands of years. So it's not just the United States was made 250 years ago. It's just a new place, but the doctrine is ancient, and people will argue Christianity's ancient. Christianity's ancient. Judaism's ancient. Islam is ancient to a degree. But it's no, but we're talking about these things are even before that. These things were predicting these type of stories and these scriptures and these religions that we believe now have been said in different interpretations for thousands of years.
No, literally. Like, I mean, we're talking different, like, especially, I mean, Christianity was like 2,000 years ago. I mean, of like, that's a little bit, I mean, still longer than, like, I agree, than, you know, the Constitution. But, you know, you're talking Judaism, you know, when you're talking about
And
the
they all
Quran.
correlate. I don't mean to cut you off, but this all correlates to Saturn, right? And what I mean by that is Saturn is the god of time. And in Greek mythology, the god of time is Kronos. That's Saturn. And so what that means, Saturn is the god of physical, because time creates lines in this dimension. Once you create time, you create weeks, days, months, you break things, you put things in order. That's what creates the physical. So that's where we get Santa Claus. And what does he do? He gives you physical gifts. He gives you gifts.
Then we're back at it with the little, okay, with the meanings. Okay.
So not only is he in politics, but it's also inside of our traditions, our cultures, because they're made by the government. Your governed mind, meant in Latin means mind.
Now, I know you mentioned magic and politics and all these things. Do you believe that like high-end politicians and, you know, people high up in Hollywood and whatnot, all or most of them participate in black magic to get to the position that they're in now?
So to get to the position that they're in is like a very vague question, because you could really only base it off of the people that really show you. That's what I only base my opinions off.
Like to get to a position of power in a sense.
Yeah. So like people
like the
will make it very
degree.
present,
Right?
If they are, right? Because they have to. But if you're an everyday Joe Schmo, you're really not even going to care about what they're presenting to you, because you don't even know what's going on.
Right.
Like,
because
regardless of them being demonic, you're only looking at it as such a physical way. Like, you don't know that they're manipulating your brain when you listen to the music,
right?
Putting hidden messages when you play them backwards, or when you have it at a certain frequency, a tune that you can't hear in the background. You know, they're brainwashing you. They don't understand it from that level.
Well, that's how the ritual works in a sense, right? It needs to be right in your face, right?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's all good. So what songs would you say, like, because I heard that, like, isn't like there like a Beatles song or something, you like reverse, and it's like
there's a bunch. Dark Horse by Katy Perry, I'll put in there.
Yeah.
Is there? So what, can you guys explain this? What is this? So Dark Horse by Katy Perry.
Well, there's a lot of hidden imagery in that. I would say the Eye of Horus is in it, which I'm not 100% sure, but I'm sure you know what that's supposed to symbolize.
What does that symbolize?
So the Eye of Horus is Horus, the sun god, and we could talk about that into a deep extent. So Horus isn't satanic. That's what the reason why they put it in the video is because they want you to think with the already pre-existing conspiracy theories that means demonology, but it's not, because they want you to think everything is demonic, scare you, when everything has nuance and everything has context. So the Eye of Horus is basically just Horus, the sun god, the Egyptian sun god. And that's where we get hours from. You know, Horus had a 12-step program. That's why we have 12 hours in a day.
Oh, okay. I see.
And he had 12 different lives. And he followed around the sun. He died, he resurrected, came back. He came back to life after he died. He was the light of the world, people knew him as. But he was a god from Egypt thousands of years before Jesus. But it doesn't mean anything demonic. But yes, it's in that video. But also songs that she has. Katy Perry has songs that are talking about the bubble, constantly living in a bubble, so comfortable we cannot see the trouble. Like, just talking about how we're all brainwashed, living in a utopia.
Like a Matrix,
yeah.
So that's her
Chained to the Rhythm. That's the song.
But is that like a ritual, or is that her warning us?
So it can be interpreted in many different ways, but what it really is a ritual. And what I mean by that is they're showing you something that they need to show, but in a certain way that doesn't fully give the answer, so that you're accepting of it, but you're still a little oblivious to what they're really showing you. So, and essentially, it is a ritual, because it's a sequence of events that they have to do in order to manipulate you into thinking a certain way, which is basically controlling you, which is basically magic.
Yes, yeah. And
because even down to the microscopic level, their exchange of movement is creating different sound waves and frequencies that has to interact with your body. That's why if I touch you right now after I rub my hand against that couch, I'm going to shock you. I could physically hurt you to a certain degree. So
Yeah.
that's how people do it psychologically through the music.
I see. So kind of like through the frequencies and through that, and you kind of, it makes people act a certain way or can control people. And like how I guess how big do you think it is? Like the scale of this is like, do you think it's like how modern music is this? Like, do you think it's all music in general? Is it just label music? Is it just like, like, I don't know, like how deep does it go? Like, how do I know you're not trying to manipulate us with, like, how do I know frequency, 10,461 is telling me to kill my next door neighbor? How do I know that?
Well, no, that's funny. That's funny. But I definitely have said it out loud. In the last podcast, I said I dropped 2 songs. I dropped the one in 440 hertz with a black and white video. And then I dropped the same version of that song, but in 432 hertz with a color video.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole point of that is I'm giving you the option, just like in life. Are you going to choose the one that's going to hurt your brain, or are you going to choose the one that's going to do good for your brain, right? People are going to just choose whatever they please if they're not studying it. Even if they understand vibration, it's understanding that you're always choosing wrong from right is a part of life. You could listen to each song and know you're not going to die, because that's not the point of sin. Sin is something that has to happen in order for good to then repulse back. So, but we have to have the decision in order to make decisions. We have to have free will in order to even get to these points. That's why studying scripture is very important. That's why Jesus teaches free will.
Let's not go, I'm going to interrupt you a little bit, because the only problem I had with last episode is I feel like you go so fast that I'm like, wait, we got to slow down, back it up. So don't
100%.
get insulted if I'm just doing it just so the audience at home can follow along too and get what you're saying. But I think what you're saying is important. I think it's not, I don't want to hear it, but I just want to get us on the track. So you're talking about like all the music and stuff. And yeah, I understand what you're saying about the sin, like, at the end of the day, it is still your free will, but there's definitely influencing, politics, music, just pop culture in general.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is there any like other like artists do you think that is like, who's like the kingpin of this is, I guess, my question. I'm just curious from a musical standpoint. Is there like a kingpin?
See, like questions.
Some people
like
say
that.
Jay-Z. Some people say Jay-Z. I mean, there's obviously Diddy, who got in trouble recently.
Jay-Z supports Marina Abramovich.
That's what I was just about to. Yeah, exactly. No, he's 100% right.
On the same wavelength. I see.
So he gets it. Yeah. So
can you guys expand? Wait, I just want to, just for the audience at home, let's expand. So who is this?
So Marina Abramovich is a well-known witch who hangs out with a lot of not political figures, hip hop figures. And there's actually a video with Marina Abramovich and Jay-Z. And Marina Abramovich grabs Jay-Z's head and spins him around. And they say it's like a ritual that she's doing to promote his success in a way.
Yeah, she does spirit cooking for celebrities. So she'll draw art on the walls that portray with like blood. And then it'll say like a weird cryptic message. And then she'll have like a spirit cooking. Either it'll be themed with human body parts or
semen,
it'll actually be,
everything.
Yeah, exactly. Like human excremity. It's these people surround themselves with demon worshipers and Satanists, but even these people are puppets. They're just weirdos. And listen, anybody could have talent. That's what I try and tell people, that everyone is the same God consciousness, because we can't look at these people at, oh, well, they make music, they're amazing, they're better than me. No, bro, these guys are weirdos. These individuals get into really sick, sadistic stuff. And he brought up the child blood before, but all these are like, MK Ultra is a government experiment that uses sound and frequency to manipulate the mind into getting prisoners of war to confess and leak information about the opposite army. These things have been around for like 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years now. It's been almost 100 years now that MK Ultra has been a thing. Well, no, actually, I think it might correct me. I think 1980 is when the first documented case of MK Ultra was actually.
So this is
classified.
like a real, like, this is what people are using in war and sensitive information or sensitive things like that. I want to go back just a little bit to the to just talking about, you were talking about Jay-Z and this witch. I mean, that's absolutely insane. I mean, I have to definitely look more into that or whatever, because that
She
is
does spirit
just
cookies for a lot of different
yeah.
people.
But what do you think about this too? Is Diddy involved? Is this Diddy, this whole Diddy case of him, apparently, he's having these freak offs. So some people are, I'm not alleging, but some people are, kind of connecting Jay-Z to it in a way. Other people have been connected to Diddy. Do you think that this is all, is it just freaks that they're all having just freak offs, or is there actually more to this? Maybe like, I don't know, like maybe is there, I've heard even people say it's just a blackmail operation. What do you think about this?
I'm going to give you a bunch of different scenarios and you could connect the dots if you will, but I'm just going to put these out because this is just my opinion, right? Sexual blackmail has been used in every form of power on a mass level. So like industries in music have been doing it forever. Industries in war, sodomization, to get people, torture people, to get information out. That's been going on for thousands of years. All right. So blackmail and humiliation is a tactic because it humiliates the soul. It devalues the dominance of oneself. And you become weak in the soul as well as physical. So a video comes out like that. That's just a known thing, right? And so you have TV shows that promote this type of stuff all the time, like the Boondocks. They have a episode talking about how all the rappers are secretly homosexual men, and they have to get pimped out by the big record CEOs, and they appeal to people that act like Diddy. And now you have people coming out, eyewitness accounts of. You just see how the industry is in real life. This is. Sexual assault allegations go left, right, and center in Hollywood. And yes, some of them are proven innocent and not guilty. You have your few bad apple ones that are just false accusations, but you hear a lot of crazy stuff that comes out of Hollywood because it's even the name Hollywood is evil. It comes from when the Druids would take bark off of holly trees and create wands. That's where Hollywood comes from.
What the hell?
And that's why they program you and put stuff on a television. Television. They're giving you a perspective of reality.
Is it like television or like television? Oh,
Television.
Oh, I see. Television.
But it's also television.
Yeah.
They're telling you this is a
but
perspective
also telekinesis,
of reality.
television.
Yes, well,
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's both.
I see.
But so you have that. And then he just beat a RICO, this guy. A federal RICO case, not in the state. So it's even harder. It's a legit RICO. You hear a lot of these rappers, right? This is what 6ix9ine was saying. You hear a lot of these rappers say that they beat a RICO, but they really didn't because they beat it in the state. Regardless.
Well, wasn't he tried? But it was tried in New York. But what was it? It wasn't like because it was across state lines. So it was like fully federal. Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah,
fully federal, and he beat it. Yeah, he's serving 50 months, but dude, has a life sentence.
Yeah,
RICO, and he beat that, and he knew he was going to beat that. It's because he is the Jeffrey, in my opinion, he is the Jeffrey Epstein of the music industry. He does exactly what. And it's not, maybe it wasn't initially for the government at first. Maybe down the line, it became a government affair where they then used him on a mass scale to blackmail celebrities. But he was probably doing this from the jump because he's been throwing crazy parties. A bunch of people died at one of his parties in college. Like, it got too crazy. It was over capacity, and maybe it wasn't his fault, but Diddy's known for throwing wild parties from the jump.
Or maybe it was a cover-up, though. Maybe that guy didn't.
It was a cover-up.
But I was also going to say to you about him being the Epstein. Here's my thing about that. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because I think the real Epstein of this wouldn't get caught, bro. It's got to be someone in the shadows, bro. Like this
is all a game.
So what you think?
Whatever they show you is planned.
That's what I'm saying. But
so
they
he
don't
can
want
kill him if they want to and show you, or they could keep him alive.
Now they're going to keep him alive, but I'm saying he's not the head of it. He's just he's second in charge. Who is the big guy on top?
They're not in charge. I'm not saying Diddy's
not in charge. I meant like the whole freak off blackmail operation. I meant to say, because you were saying that he is the Epstein. I don't know if he's necessarily the Epstein. Maybe he's like the Ghislaine Maxwell, but who's the Epstein?
Let me tell you.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
So let me explain it to you.
Okay.
All right. Imagine this is the second time you met me, and you're an artist, and I'm a record label, and The first time I met you, we went out and we had a blast. We got so hammered. We got drunk. You damn near blacked out. You don't even remember the end of the night. We had a great time. Come back the next time you see me. I give you this deal. And I tell you, hey, this is what it is. May say it's a 360 deal where you basically get nothing. I own everything. You don't own your masters. You don't own your publishing. You have to give off a certain rhetoric. You hate that idea. You want to stay real. You want to be Jack. You want to talk about the things that you want to talk about, and you want to keep your integrity. So you tell him, nah, I don't want to do that. He'll go, I go, okay. I turn around and I turn on a TV, and then it's a video of you getting fucked in your ass. I'm not kidding. And so they'll show you the TV screen.
I don't know why I was also imagining this at like a restaurant.
No, this is exactly what's gonna happen. And they're gonna tell you, oh, do you want that to go everywhere? This is something that is sexual blackmail on a massive scale.
Wow.
Because then he had the parties with the hidden with the hidden cameras.
Mm-hmm.
That's honestly, I mean, well, let me ask you this. Because, you know, he is connected to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z has, and I'm not making any allegations here, guys. It's just me talking about my own opinion here. So don't sue me, Jay-Z, but I'm just asking, or will I get killed for this? Is this like, you think that maybe they got that much power that if I bring this up, I might get killed?
Maybe if you were like
you're not going to get killed unless you individually accumulate like enough attention.
Okay.
Like
so don't blow this up, guys, but
blow me.
I feel
They're
like
doing it to me, bro. They'll blow me.
I don't want you to die though either, bro. You know what I'm saying?
At least you die telling the truth.
It pays
if you die, I don't even know if I would continue the podcast, man. I would just be like, I don't even know how my heart
completely against what I would want you to do.
I know, but my heart would just be like so broke and shattered. Like I feel like I'm like, how could I fucking? Nah, I would be, bro.
Look
Come
at what
on,
I'm doing.
I'll be like,
it's a part of life, bro.
But no, if you got shot, bro, and you died, bro, come on.
He died doing what he loved.
Yeah, but come on, you could have lived.
Right, I'm not gonna die though. That's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah. Look, we don't want to even have that negative energy.
Maybe physically,
and you're not suicidal. So let's put that on the record, right? Well, I should, I'm not suicidal either. None of us here are suicidal. So if we die, it has to be by murder. But I feel like Jay-Z, he has, because when I'm thinking of Diddy hasn't, I don't know, to his label, like I don't know who he's, I don't know. I guess he has signed some guys, right? Like MGK. I know is on his who
Diddy?
Yeah, who is Diddy signed in
Diddy signed Biggie Smalls.
Well, bro, obviously back then, but I don't think I'm talking about like nowadays though. I'm talking about like within like the past 5 years.
Bro, it doesn't matter.
10 years.
It doesn't matter.
No. What I'm trying to say is this. I'm saying if he's having these freak offs now.
Yeah.
Okay. He's having these freak offs now. And this is what he's doing, right? To blackmail people. He hasn't signed anybody big as of the past 10 years, even though he's been having the freak offs. I know he's been having the freak offs for longer, but I'm just talking about the last 10 years. So you can say whatever you want, about Diddy doing that back then. But I'm saying maybe he's doing this with a partner. Perhaps that partner could be Jay-Z. My opinion, not a fact. Just saying that because Jay-Z is making more moves in terms of signing people, in terms of Rock Nation. He's got some, heavy hitters as of today under his belt. So that's what I'm talking about.
I understand because he owns Rock Nation.
Yeah.
Rock Nation's one of the biggest record labels. Diddy and Jay-Z, they work for the same
that's what I'm
people.
saying. They're in a loop. I feel like that.
They're in a fraternity of male fraternity that is sacred, that is high ranking, that billionaires are a part of. And they do rituals. And a lot of it has to do with the child trafficking that's going on. Shout out Tim Tebow, by the way. Because he's out on the front lines, really making a difference, really bringing awareness to this child trafficking that's going on right now.
Is he really?
Millions, yeah.
I didn't hear about
you should
that.
really check out his page. He's going ham right now. Millions of children are unaccounted for right now in this world. And it really makes you think about a lot of things when you really start pulling the veil on a lot of different people in Hollywood, what was going on during COVID. Listen, they drink human blood. Like that's not an exaggeration. It's a part.
Who's they?
Celebrities.
Okay.
Celebrities do these things and whatever. You'll hear
Why during
someone say
COVID
that.
though?
Okay. So sex trafficking is a huge network that is global. It is
$1 billion operation.
$1 billion operation.
That's just a fact, then.
Via airlift, via boat, car, walking, cross borders. Huge operation that goes on. During COVID, when everything stopped and ships stopped and everything and all the ports were closed, supply became scarce because everything is physical. Like I said, these celebrities don't just use these children for sex. A lot of the times it's not for sex. It's really more
just like work
for torture.
Torture.
Because you're extracting. So what happens when I scare you?
Adrenochrome.
Adrenaline rushes through your blood. And so at that point, if I were to take blood from you at that exact moment, I would have something called what's known as adrenochrome.
Isn't that like the plot to Monsters Inc. or isn't that the plot to Monsters Inc.? Isn't it?
There we go. Yes, exactly. You're getting there.
Yes.
It's built off of children's fear. Disney, Walt Disney was a 33-degree Freemason. And inside of Disney World, if you pay $250,000, you could be part of the Disney Club, which is called what? Club 33 in Disney World.
And then are you like a part of this like bigger movement, or is this just like a money thing? Coincidence?
So they say the reason why it's $240,000 because no one's gonna pay it to get in to Disney, into a room with Disney.
I see.
But it's for.
But it's
you
like
have to get invited.
It's like laundering in a way, kind of like laundering.
You have to get invited.
Yeah. Oh, I see. So
like they make that price, but it's like, all right, who's gonna pay $250,000?
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Joe Schmo isn't paying that down the block. Exactly. I feel you.
And Joe Schmo's the one going to Disney.
Would you?
With all due respect.
And keep in mind, 33rd degree Masons that is the highest level of Masonry, and they say that you know all the secrets of the world at that level. That's when you're told.
Yeah, basically.
Do you think?
But you already know, people already know the secrets of the world. They just have to realize it. The whole point of life is to remember that you know.
So we get into this, and I think it's interesting what you said, first of all, about the child trafficking stuff, because that's going on everywhere, and it's not even necessarily, we talk about it at such a huge scale, but I guarantee you, bro, it's definitely happening like this. Kidnap some kids, bring them to an apartment in, random neighborhood. I'm sticking all y'all in here, and I'm pimping y'all out on the street. It just as simple as that. Maybe going to another city or doing that somewhere else, wherever. But even just local like that doesn't have to be this necessarily massive operation. But I do agree with you. Of course, we've seen massive, what is it? What the hell? What's the word? Operations exposed before, like Jeffrey Epstein and stuff. And those have been kind of looted, like you just said, blackmailing. We talked about in rap. And I thought it was interesting you saying it's all facets of business, really. Like it could be in politics. It could be in even, like you said, like I could be, I guess, a job interviewer, like wanting you as an accountant. I don't know, maybe you're the fucking world's best accountant. And I'm like, I want you. So here, first meeting, blackout. And like you said, like you could say the rest, what I'm a film.
I'm not gonna say it again. But I know you're gonna bleep it out, so I just said it.
I ain't gonna bleep it out. But
you're not?
No. You can curse all you want, bro.
Going back,
I don't bleep anything out last time.
That's cool.
Only thing I bleeped out was when you said the teacher's name.
Oh yeah.
I DM'd that teacher. I'm trying to find out an answer. Like, hey, what's up? What'd you think of the clip?
I hope she's good.
Yeah, for real. I mean, maybe we'll bring her on.
That'd be awesome.
I
would be so down for that.
That'd be legendary.
if next episode it's me, you, Chiv hopefully back. Bring on Miss Bro. There's a fourth pod member, and we
guess
can
you
talk.
can say it now, but
oh yeah, block it
Miss
out.
Bleep,
I guess
we're gonna take turns.
Don't forget.
I didn't even realize until you said it too. But no, I wanted to ask you because. Maybe expanding a little bit off of the musical blackmail. Of course, we're seeing a lot of toxicity in politics. There's a lot of talk because we talked about Charlie Kirk last time, like his death being a part of a massive operation, and part of, kind of connected to this whole blackmailing operation. What do you think about that? Because I have seen, that you allude to it a little bit since then. Have your thoughts changed at all? What do you think about like the Charlie Kirk? Is it connected to the blackmail stuff? Is that not connected?
So what they'll tell you is the physical stuff. Yeah, it's because he betrayed Israel. But the whole thing has been set up. The Illuminati created a card game that if you played it and you broke down the cards, they tell you exactly that this was going to happen. They even tell you that Trump was going to get shot, that he was even going to get elected. And I know when we make the reels, I'm going to put all the images up of the cards that explain it. But I also explained how everything is about the stars. Everything is about the stars. I need you guys to understand this. Every religion is about the stars. And everything that we use in the physical always correlates in some type of way to the stars, astrotheology. So when Charlie Kirk died, when the stabbing happened on the train, the school shooting at the college, all of those happened on the blood
You mean Charlie
moon.
Kirk's shooting, or
And the Charlie Kirk shooting,
Yeah, okay.
are all during the blood moon phase, when the moon was full, that whole entire time. The moon takes our energy, it manipulates our energy, it moves the water within our body, essentially, because, you know, they control the waves. So what do you think is happening in a body that's 70% water? That's why Mondays are the worst days of the week, because it's moon day. Because we get the most energy on Monday, you know. Saturday is Saturn. That's why the Jewish people worship the Sabbath. Saturn, the North Pole of Saturn, is a hexagon. A cube is 6 sides. A cube represents the 3-dimensional plane, physical things, a cube, right? What is Saturn, the god of time, which is the god of what? Physical. That's why Jewish, Hasidic Jews, they wear the black cube on their forehead called the tefillin. And then they wrap the band around their arms 7 times. That represents Saturn and 7.
I've seen that, yes. The band.
You know?
Yeah.
So the reason why I go so deep into that is because literally we're talking about Israel and Charlie Kirk. The
But
Jews
it's even bigger.
study the Kabbalah, the mystic understanding of connecting yourself to source through the 7 planes, because you can debate if these are even planets, and it's all staged, it's all choreographed. To pull emotion from you.
So you're saying, just because I got you until the end, and that's why I want to ask you a question about the end.
Yeah.
And also ask you more about the physical stuff as well, because I mentioned the spiritual stuff as well. So let's get into that first. You're essentially saying, like, not necessarily that we'll get into the physical stuff if it's actually connected, but also it's more of a bigger thing where, you know, everyone's being influenced, like, basically at a max at the same time. It's like, this is like the worst time for humanity, best time for whoever might want chaos, you know, and we'll talk about who, you know, that could be or whatever. But that is kind of what the cause was. Now you're mentioning Israel. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying not to get too much into the physical stuff, but I guess let me ask you this real quick. Just yes.
No, bro, tell me the physical.
If you
down the opposite.
no. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. I was going to ask you though. Are you trying to say that you think Israel had something to do with Charlie Kirk's murder? Just
yeah.
Okay. Well,
technically,
I'll take a pause on that, and definitely we're going to go unpack that in a second. But do you think then, given that, because that involves my question, do you think that they, and you can go more in depth in your thoughts, that they purposely picked this day because of the moon? And how did that, I guess, affect people's, like, why they did what people did? You know what I mean? Like, I guess I don't see the correlation necessarily, like, because they did, what did they do, I guess, on that day to make everybody do that? Because if it's just the moon, then why would Israel have to do with it? But I assume there's some sort of connection. But because you're saying they studied it, so what did they do?
I'm going to use an analogy quick. When an asteroid, say like the asteroid, quote unquote, that killed the dinosaurs, when it impacted Earth, if it didn't explode, would it have killed every dinosaur?
If it didn't explode?
If it didn't explode.
No.
I don't know. How big was how big was it?
It wiped out all of them. So
it must have been pretty big.
So
yeah.
If the meteor,
I would have survived it though.
No, but I'm saying if the meteor hit and it didn't explode,
yeah,
would all of the dinosaurs died?
I don't know. Would it?
I would say no.
No.
You would say no, right? Because it only hit a certain spot.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything is about the ripple effect. So they'll stage these things September 10th during a full moon. And what's been coming out of Charlie Kirk's death? The memes are outrageous. The AI Charlie Kirk memes, the conspiracies on how he died, everybody's emotions.
Yeah.
People are like I told you, if you're glorifying death, regardless of if it was the worst person or the best person, you are mentally the same level of humility as the person that died.
Because you haven't understood that you are a fractal of that same person. And now let me ask you, it has to happen because it's going to happen.
Right.
And you getting your emotions taken out and getting sucked up by the moon and them draining your energy and getting you manipulated into their agenda. So you're just doom scrolling all day, or you're just having these opinions rather than starting a business or innovating or leading a people, you know, or thinking prospectively about yourself. These are all distractions. And the only thing that gets you out of that distraction is having all of your energy into that one thing, which is Yahweh, which is that explosion. You know, a rabbi talks about how do you describe what Yahweh is. And he says that you turn a hose on and you kink it, and all that pressure builds. That moment you release that hose, that built up pressure when it releases, that is Yahweh. Light, explosion. And that's how they trick us with that same tactic.
So
They
wait,
make something happen and then it cascades everywhere.
that's what I was gonna say. So big. So you're saying this, and I already guess what you were gonna ask, but big impact, big ripple effect, and then the ripples is kind of what is
The outcome.
That is what now is affected. Okay, so
Just like in life.
yes.
He literally just answered my question. I was gonna say, do you think that the whole Charlie Kirk thing and people making memes and all this, it's literally just dumbs down to energy harvesting, right?
Absolutely.
So
Because it's coming out now that Palantir, Peter Thiel, the guy, and Alex Karp, people who control all the AI for the military on both sides of the war, and basically, essentially, the world, but predominantly the United States, they are creating memes. That's why you see J.D. Vance dressing up as his own meme on Halloween. It's because it's karmic retribution.
He's playing to it. He's playing into it in a sense.
And here, tell me now. I'm sure JD Vance would rather memes of him looking like a Care Bear than the memes of him like effing his couch and all that coming out. So I'm sure he's like, yo, let me get ahead of it and let me put out some meme that's actually not that bad of me, and then they'll make fun of that, you know. So it makes sense like that.
But remember, these politicians don't care about what we think, really, because they just want to own everything.
They're already at the highest.
Well, they only care for votes, but does it not even matter? Votes don't even matter.
None of that is real. None of that is real. As soon as you realize why Republicans are red and why the Democrats are blue, literally, when you really understand that, you've realized, oh my God, everything is a stage. Everything.
No, I agree with you that. I think a lot of it is performative. I think at the end of the day, how do you really drive up enough interest to vote for somebody? There's got to be conflict. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be, it has to be. It's sad, sad that people aren't really motivated by love. Like, there's also got to be a little bit of hate. Like, oh, fuck the other side. I don't want the other side to win. It's kind of like sports in a way. It's more of like sports now. We got rallies, we got cheering, we got, chants. It's like, so I agree with you for sure. I don't know necessarily if I agree that, that maybe the outcomes are predetermined necessarily. Because I feel like, look, like we just had Mamdani win, right? Zohran Mamdani win.
Of course he won. What do you mean?
Yeah. You think, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you think, though, like, you think he's part of this, like, a bigger part, too, of this whole...
The next stage of this war that we're in, World War III, the next stage of this war is the battle between Muslims and Christians. It was originally Muslims and Jews, and now it's going to be Muslims and Christians.
Well, say
Jews go to the wayside, even though there's still going to be conflict in Gaza, even though it's basically almost over. The whole place is decimated by this point, and they're already starting renovations to build up Gaza as a vacation strip. It's sick. People, listen, if you go to that land after that stuff is built, you are cursed. I 100% think that that's going to happen, and shame on the president for not only the Gaza situation, but also not being able to get Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, to release those Epstein files. This is a complete travesty.
But don't you think maybe it's because he's an Epstein
That stuff is already predetermined. Like, well, that stuff was already going to happen. It's just a shame to see, really, in real time. But what I wanted to get back to was the reason why Mamdani won. They're going to push the same thing that they did when 9/11 happened. Something's going to happen in New York, and they're going to put it on Mamdani, and it's going to push Islamophobia. It's going to push the hate against Muslims. And then the Christians are going to have their chin, we're going to take back New York, or whatever the case may be. Is there's just going to be a conflict between Catholic Christian faith and the Muslim faith. While the Jews in the wayside, now I'm not talking about your everyday Jew. I'm talking about the mystic Jews that aren't really Jews. They're Jewish. That's why that Jew and Jewish names, and they study the Kabbalah, but the laws of the universe, which I've been saying, but they use demonology. Right. They're going to want all the religions to be eliminated, and atheism. They don't want people not believing in God. And they're going to introduce Satanism as the one world religion. It's not going to be a devil with horns. It's going to be some government-looking religion.
Mm-hmm. Like a kind of...
Like a corporation.
Yeah.
Like a utopia. Yeah. You've seen it, like The Giver. Perfect example.
I was going to say, did you see this already? That Netanyahu got invited to New York January 1st today. Mamdani's going to be sworn in. And they're like, hey, because, Mamdani's obviously said, he's going to arrest Netanyahu, tell the police to arrest. So this is already kind of conflict, instigation. We're already seeing Netanyahu go there. It's either look, Mamdani does try to arrest him, and we're seeing some sort of conflict that probably, obviously, I know they would go Mamdani, so I don't even know how that would realistically work, or he's not going to do anything and he looks bad, and it's like, you know, now everyone's like, oh, you campaigned on this and you lie, even though, to be fair, it's inauguration day. Like maybe the second is a little more of an accurate day. Like, hey, get things together. You know what I'm saying?
It's to cause that whole thing is to cause that question or this state of thought that you're in about the subject. That's exactly what they want you to think right there. Because in that time that you just said that to me about what's happening physically, time was not essentially wasted because you're asking me the question. We're having a podcast, but people think about these things all day. And it's not even, yeah, of course they want you to do that, because what is it now? It's invoking your spirit. It's invoking your emotions. It's the only reason they do it. Everything is about energy harvesting, what these people want to do.
It's even planted in your subconscious then at a point.
Yeah. Because what is rap music? You literally, like, for instance, the type of music I've been making recently, I'm talking about stuff that I'm into. I'm really not talking about the status quo. But it's so hard to get people, and even myself at points, to listen to the type of beats that I use, like rap or drill beats or like very high amp beats, and think, damn, I wish I said that, but it's like vulgar, or like we're just so used to the negative connotations of life that we literally can't even enjoy that type of music without it being said, really. Like, that's how far we're down the line. I really don't understand that.
That's like the popular form of writer's block. It's like, yo, I'm trying to write about this thing. Like, that's like the number one thing is like, apparently, like, yeah, you're thinking of writing this thing and then you just don't. You know what I'm saying? They're like, having that block, it's gonna make it like literally impossible to write anything, because it's like, you know, you're already thinking enough. Yo, what should I say? It's hard to think. Okay, well, I don't want to say this. I don't want to say this. You know what I mean? So it's difficult. And like I said, I mean, I said this off the podcast, but I feel like or I don't know, maybe it was on the podcast in the beginning, but with the following you have now, I feel like this is like a perfect, you know, like you said in the last podcast, man. I do want to ask you about your album later, and get to that. But you know, if your album, and I'm pretty sure it does have to do with a lot of the things you're talking about. I think it might change the game, bro. I don't know, you might be the one to expose. I really hope that they don't pop you before it comes out, bro. Because this might be too hot and heavy.
I know. I mean, listen, regardless of if I go or not, listen, I don't even want to talk about it from that perspective. Not even because of like afraid of it. Listen, I'm not afraid of anything. That's the thing. I'm not afraid of anything. Regardless of if it's me, it's gonna be somebody after me or while I'm doing it also that is going to go with the same amount of pressure as I am about these type of things, because the stars told us so. Every 2115 years is a new astrological age. We are in the age of Aquarius, and the symbol for Aquarius is a man pouring water out of a jar, right? In the Bible, it talks about Jesus, the fisher of man, right? He's the messenger. He is the age of Pisces, 2 fish. That's why he splits the 2 fish into thousands. That's why he walks on the water to save his friend from I forgot which apostle it was that was drowning, but he saves the apostle from drowning in the water.
Was it Peter?
Maybe, but I know Simon Peter was the first fisherman that Jesus recruited in his ministry. And he told him, don't throw your net on the left side, throw it on the right side, and you'll catch 153 fish. That all is occult symbolism, first of all, with the right side. It's talking about the right hemisphere of the brain, which goes back to the meditation stuff. But all of these things are just so hidden and like not talked about. And it's for an exact reason of the meditation stuff, symbolism. All these different things. And what was the point again? I got lost in that.
I don't know. I got lost in your thing, Ted. I don't even remember my original question, but you brought us to it.
We were in like the whole journey, Charlie Kirk and the meaning of that.
I wanted to ask you this, and kind of a new topic. Although not a new topic, this is pretty on point to what we're talking about, but just conspiracies in general. I'm just gonna list a few, and if you want, just give me, you know, if you agree, disagree, you know, I'm gonna ask a few, and then I'm asking maybe a little more in depth. All right. First things first. I mean, I'm gonna ask you about Trump on the Epstein list. Do you think this is true, false? Is the conspiracy true? At this point, you don't know.
Yeah, at this point, it's pretty obvious that even if he's not on the whatever list, if there's a list, there is something going on within the elite government, and Donald Trump is a part of it. He's a Freemason, just like every other president, and they all participate in sexual fraternal blackmail. That's just point blank period.
How about agree, disagree? JFK was just killed by like some normal dude.
On the road. That's like not even. We got Lee Harvey Oswald on tape getting arrested, and when I watch this, it blows my mind. Lee Harvey Oswald's coming down the stairs and he's like, I don't know, I didn't do anything. They're framing me, they're sending me up or whatever, and then you just get shot right there. Like you can't even make this. Like you can't even. You get shot right there. It's like, oh, no trial. Oh wow, crazy.
And
what a hero.
His brain apparently went missing too with JFK. They say his brain like literally went up and disappeared.
His route that he took in the motorcade was all a ritual. I forgot what the exact name was. I think it was like Blood Atonement or something like that. I heard what's that? Bill Cooper, rest in peace, Bill Cooper. He was big on secret societies and their influence in government. And that JFK assassination was literally a whole sacrifice. Like the way they went down the street, made the right, then made that curve around the garden area, and then got murdered in that exact spot. That's all a symbol. It created a symbol, or it was some type of ritual. But yeah, it's wild, bro. It goes so deep. And keep giving me because
let me ask you this conspiracy, just because I did say we'd go back to it and we didn't go back to it, so just so I don't edge the viewers about Charlie Kirk, because we talked about the spiritual stuff. What about the physical stuff? Like physically, I mean, like you just said, Israel, I guess, set off the Charlie Kirk event to have a ripple effect. Is that
he was a huge asset? Or let's think about it from a physical perspective, right? He was a huge asset for the Israeli government because he was pushing right-wing conservatism, which was very pro-Israel. All the biggest Republican news stations are all backed by Israel. You know, AIPAC is one of the biggest funders to United States politics, Congress people, senators.
So what do you think about that? Like, do you think like that should be allowed? Like those, I guess, like fundraising type entities, or those a donor? Because we see it even with guns. The NRA donates to a lot of people, and you know we've seen some politicians refuse the money, but a lot of them do, and it's like controls them. So what do you think about that? Like, should it be limited? Should it be allowed? What you think? Or is it not even worth it? Are we just giving too much energy?
That's what I'm saying.
Is this what they want us to do?
Yes.
To debate?
Money isn't real. These people who are just passing around money, this is old money.
Let me say like I know you said like, oh, that he was useful for Israel, and kind of said in passing before, oh, because he turned against Israel. Is that what you believe? Or is it just like,
that's what they'll tell you.
Yeah, but what do you believe? They just did it. They did it for the ripple effect.
They did it not only for the ripple effect, but to keep on the illusion that it's Israel that's the problem.
Okay, I see.
And it's not Israel that's the problem.
I see.
Because people don't practice what you think Israeli practices.
Okay. You see, that's what I was curious, because I don't really know as much as this. Like, that's why I like having you on, because I feel like I'm learning. Like, okay, this is like the truths of the universe. I'm finally knowing. Like, I'm turning from a boy into a man. Like, hearing a lot of this shit. Like, I'm like, damn.
You gotta do your own information too. Yeah. You can take as much information as you want from me, but the whole point of me speaking is for that. People do the same thing that I did in research.
I mean, bro, I'll call you up random. We'd be like, hey, what's up? Like, bro, can you give me what's up with this? What's up with this? And let's have like hour-long phone call type shit. Like, learn about the fucking universe, all that. But no, that is interesting. Donny, I know you had a conspiracy that you wanted to ask Mr. Slouch about. That you said, look, I'm gonna be honest. Like, I asked him to be a host. I wasn't sure how he would perform here, but I gotta say, he came prepared. He's performing great.
Excellent.
He's doing a great job. He's a natural. So you want to explain to us what this conspiracy is here?
I wanted to talk to you about, a well-known and swept under the rug conspiracy by mainstream media called Pizzagate.
Okay.
Pizzagate.
Yeah, of course.
So,
we basically talk.
Yeah, but so just to give you guys like a little background, Pizzagate was a conspiracy that started in like 2016. It was based off like a bunch of emails that got leaked, and remember the whole Hillary Clinton scandal?
Yeah.
So
But wasn't this like fake news? Like, didn't this like a pizza place got shot up?
yeah, it's
Shit.
Comet Ping Pong. That's what they want you to believe. So
What the fuck?
I'm gonna read off my notes
Wow.
here. So conspiracies began flying around when further inspection into the emails found that Barack Obama was flying in $60,000 worth of pizza and hot dogs into the White House.
$60,000.
You can look this up. It's real emails.
Oh, that's so
Yeah.
60,000.
Worth of pizza.
Well,
and
hold
hot
up, time out. I honestly though I do feel like I don't know, pizza and hot dogs. That's the only thing was there drinks in there. I mean,
just pizza. And
Let's
hot dogs.
look up. Let's say $60,000.
I mean,
Now I know they have big parties and stuff, but
Yeah.
$60,000 worth of food seems.
but why does it have to be necessarily child trafficking? Why can't it be?
I'm gonna get into it.
Okay.
So
Why don't we hear him out and then we'll or you? What do you have to say? Is it like a quick thing? Yeah, I want to knock about this.
So a lot of Redditors and QAnon people thought that these words kind of represented something more sinister. So while looking through these emails, another strange pattern appeared. A man by the name of James Alefantis had sent dozens of emails back and forth to Hillary Clinton. Now it's going to tie into what you said about Comet Ping Pong and the whole pizzeria and that. When people began looking into James Alefantis, the owner of Comet Ping Pong's Instagram page, they found some disturbing images of underage girls, which I'm sure you could probably put on the screen. They're like just Instagram images that are still on his page now.
Whose page?
James Alefantis, the owner of the pizzeria that you're talking about. Underage girls no older than the age of maybe 10 years old being duct taped to tables with their arms being bound.
These pictures are still up on his page.
Still up, yes. They also found weird images promoting child sex trafficking, which Alefantis later claimed was all a joke, which I really don't get how that could be a joke, but you'll see images also like he has a picture of a German baby with a poster next to it with a price of $1,200, basically just like child auctions in a sense. When taking a closer look at James Alefantis' Instagram profile picture, you could also see there's a photo of a Greek god, I'm sure you know, which is named Antinous. Antinous was a boy who was used as a sex slave by Greek kings and later was used as an icon for supporters of child pedophilia. So it goes really deep.
Yes. Very, very deep.
Yeah. A man named Edgar Welch was following this rabbit hole down and got too deep into it and one day decided that he was going to go to Comet Ping Pong himself to do some research on it and find out if there were kids in the basement or whatever was going on there. So he went with a gun and everything.
Well, the way you say investigate, I would have thought like you were talking about like, oh, just when there were like an overhead, but he came with a gun.
Yeah, he came with a gun. Scared everyone in there. Everyone ran out. Police were called. He was shot and killed by police on scene. Right. So there's a lot of weird things about this whole scene. The Comet Ping Pong logo, which we'll put up, is a triangle with a pizza, and there's 2 other triangles inside of it. And if you look on the official FBI website, there's a symbol for a boy lover, pedophilia symbol, which is almost like it's exact to the logo of Comet Ping Pong. So a lot of people believe that this was like a whole thing relating to child trafficking, might go so or not.
And to elaborate on that, it's like if people would say like, how does that make any sense? Like, why would they do that? Because when you're walking around, if you're somebody who's high up in those fields who is purchasing people, that's how you know that place does it. Because everything is in symbols. That's how you know what a McDonald's is. You know what a McDonald's is because you see those golden arches from 3 miles away on a big, big sign. Mm-hmm. The world is spoken through somebody.
I'll give another example. A good friend of Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton, I'm sure you heard of the Podesta brothers. John Podesta, Tony Podesta. So Tony Podesta actually has over 200 to 300 paintings in his house and art murals of, it could be children with their genitalia being cut off, children swimming in pools of blood, just stuff like that. So it makes you think, like, if these people are connected to, politicians that we look up to in
Epstein, bro. I mean, don't forget fucking Epstein. I mean, there's people that, I mean, Epstein has never, I don't think, ever been proven. I mean, not Epstein. Well, Clinton has never been proven, I don't think, to be on the island 1000%, like, legitimately. But there has been
legitimately 31 times if it was something like that.
no, but he was on the flight, but nah, they don't know to the island. Like, they don't know where the flights were. But I was gonna say though, somebody knew. But look, I'm not here defending him. I actually do think he was on the island, and I agree with 1000% with you. And I was gonna say that there's testimony from one of the victims that say, hey, they literally saw him on the porch. So people are saying that, you know, they saw him there. Why would someone just lie? I mean, I guess maybe, but you know, I'm pretty sure he was. I mean, if he's friends with Epstein, I mean, look, he was literally doing that in the White House when he was the president. I mean, he was literally, you know, using his power, using his influence to, you know, yeah, you know, whatever. I mean, I don't know if you have deeper knowledge on that because, you know, you know me, I'm a sucker that'll believe whatever the media fucking tells me, apparently. But
it can go wherever it really wants to go because there's so many different things that could happen in a day. Imagine what was happening over a span of years of this type of of this type of stuff. Do you understand? So, you know, one thing about the children, a lot of them will tell you, like the ones that have come out, very few. The most famous whistleblower just killed herself, quote unquote. How nuts, guys. First of all, that just goes to show that they're playing in our face. Like she didn't put herself in 4K on Netflix to go and tell people all this stuff just to kill herself. Mm-hmm. Like people were waking up and getting warned or sad about this. That's a whole other thing. But
and who was that you said?
I forgot her name.
I forgot as well.
I forgot her name, but
She said many times she wasn't suicidal too.
she was in the Jeffrey Epstein Filthy Rich documentary.
Yeah. Oh, Virginia Jeffrey?
Yes.
There you go. See, exactly.
Hey, I mean, look, I know a little bit here.
You know,
Yeah, it's going.
But what I think a lot of the time, like these victims will tell you that sometimes they're not even doing anything sexual. A lot of the times it wasn't really any intercourse fully. It was just naked massages or rubbing his feet. And the mystic meaning behind that is that sexual energy. Now, when you climax, when you release fully,
Yeah.
that is so much energy coming out of you. It's your life force. You're literally able to create another human being with that. People don't understand how powerful this sacred fluid is. It really is that way. And it sounds
It's like a
stupid, but
missile.
it's true.
Like a ballistic missile. Like type of shit.
I guess so.
However you want to look at it.
But yeah, however you want to perceive that one, that's up to you. But it's our life force, and it drains so much of our energy. There's a known fact that when you release, and when you get to the point of orgasm, that you lose just like how you ran like a 5-mile race. You lose the same amount of energy in a 5-mile race that you do when releasing, and they don't want to do that. These business people, because they're working crazy hours. 80% of these people are sociopaths. That's another statistic. 80% of business owners are sociopaths. So these high elites, these crazy clockwork guys that constantly need energy. So what they'll do is they'll build up that sexual tension. They'll build up that energy and then produce outwardly, physically, but not through releasing. So that's also a huge thing, because when we talk about sexual energy, and I don't mean to div it, but this is also really important. It's symbolized in everything around us. For example, I put this on my story the other day. The Department of Sanitation logo is the staff with the serpents going up with the wings. We'll either put it here in the video or whatever when we chop up the reels. But the snakes represent your sexual energy because they travel through your spine and then give it throughout your whole entire body. And it goes into your mind because everything ultimately leads up to the brain. And the wings represent the hemisphere of the brain. So everything is about the sexual energy. And the sexual energy is what causes our emotions. So when we go back to the Charlie Kirk thing, or any tragedy, the Masons are built on a system called Chaos ab Ordo, which is, Order ab Chaos, which is order out of chaos. They create these things strategically, these tragedies strategically, to mess with us and manipulate us in this world. And that's exactly what business owners do with these children, is build up that energy to then output into the world. It's all the same thing.
Wow. I mean, and this is so, I don't think I've ever, like, it personally mean, like, I'm not very spiritual myself. I was saying this like earlier before I saw you. Like, feel like a very, as you would say, physical as they get, physical as the thing. But like, I gotta say, like, you're making me think in a way, like, I'm like, I definitely think, look, at the end of the day, like, it's not crazy to think that there is like this spiritual like energy, you know what I'm saying? And like, if I mean, this is like it has to be more. I mean, it's crazy. Like, how are we even here? You know what I'm saying? At this point, like, how are we even? The fact that we're, I'm even having this conversation with you. Like, what the heck? Like, who? How did we get all ape? You know what I'm saying? What's been going on? What are dinosaurs? I mean, this is all insane.
Dinosaur is a very recent word. It's not like a word that's been around. The original word for dinosaur was dragon, and no fossils in any museum are real. They're all fake, and the real ones are hidden and they're kept away.
You don't believe in dinosaurs? Is that what
You can make a fossil and they were something. I believe more that they were giants.
But that means
That's
that
the
is.
dinosaurs.
But wait,
Or the other creatures like dragons, for example.
Nephilim, maybe?
Dragons are on every old building in the city. You guys see these humongous dragon figures next to lions, next to elephants. You don't see any other mythical creature.
But when I hear that though, I do think are we now just questioning too much though? Because it's like why do you think this for like why do you think that they're why is there
Bro, they lied about going to the moon. Bro.
no,
They had a bunch
I'm
of
not
people
even questioning
sit in
about
front of their
why.
TV and go,
No.
And
But that I understand, even though look, you might not believe it, but I understand the motive there. There is clear motive there to do it. But I'm just like questioning, about like why wouldn't they? What is even the point? Like why say it's a dragon opposed to, or why say it's a dinosaur opposed to a dragon? I mean, there's only the difference is they're flying.
because they're going to fill up their own version of what the past was.
Why?
Yeah,
They want their own version of what the
Why
past
does
was.
doesn't go in the room?
Because it hides the ancient mysteries. What's the number one thing that governments do or just empires do when they go into a nation? They destroy the teachings of what that nation is in order to impose theirs. Libraries are burnt down. How come all of these cities in every major city or every city in the growing United States in the early 1800s, they all had a great fire, the Great Fire of New York, the Great Fire of Chicago, and you see these pictures from the 1800s, and these places look like Thor lived there. Like it's there's a lot about the history that we aren't taught because we also learned that Ghislaine Maxwell's dad is the one who created and published the textbooks that we learned,
Right.
and that's why they had Egyptian guys dressed. They had white guys dressed as Egyptian guys in our textbooks, and they have pictures of Jesus all over the place that look like a king from England. So it's like everything about our past has to be questioned. You see these cathedrals, like let me riff.
Mm-hmm.
You see these cathedrals that are all over the place, all over the world. You see the doorways to these places. Do you see the cymatic when we talked about sound and how it creates physical shapes on anything that's lightweight like water and salt? They use those same shapes to then create these buildings. But religion's not going to teach you about sound and vibration. But the buildings do. So are the buildings created by these religions? A lot of these buildings are founded, not established. Things that come from the ground up are established. Things that you stumble upon are founded. So that's why when you look at all these old pictures, right, from back in the day of early United States, you have all these little houses, and then out of nowhere, you see this 200-foot cathedral that looks nothing like anything around it because they stumbled upon these things.
No, and
These are the ancient people.
And I definitely look, and I believe that. And I look, obviously we've seen this before, where there's definitely stuff we believe from in the past that hasn't happened just because of misinformation, just because of transfer to the next thing, whether it be a cover up, whether it be there's definitely all types of reasons for that. I was just saying with that, I was just like,
Now you were saying the point, why dragons and all dinosaurs, them creating their own narrative for history is just a way to control us in a sense, right?
Yes. Exactly. That's what they do with every nation. I don't base my stuff off of what this other guy said. And through my history lessons and through my understanding of life, even in school, we learn this. It's just a part of nature. When you the best way is when you understand what the smallest thing is the biggest thing. I explained this on the podcast. I didn't explain it to you. When I say microcosm is macrocosm, I don't know if you're familiar with that terminology.
No.
What I mean by that is the smallest thing equates to the biggest thing. So the roots of a tree are the veins in our arm. Are electricity, lightning, looks the exact same way. So the smallest thing, roots, or even arms, you could even use as a microcosm. Everything is on a spectrum. It doesn't matter. The smallest thing is the biggest thing. It's all the same shit. So when I talk about control and dominance, right? Exactly what nations do to other nations to instill a certain law and principle onto them is exactly what's happening to us. Bro, we were born into this. We are the easiest ones. When you're born into it, you're the easiest to manipulate. That's why all these places, these people, we wonder, oh, why are they so crazy? Why do they act so nuts? These terrorists, they go into their own neighborhoods and kill people. So, well, look at where they are.
Right. I guess with all of this in mind, and keeping about how spiritual, how spiritual heavy, the world really is. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is physical, like we've said. You got to mix with the physical, but the spiritual causes the physical, as we've just gone over, right? I would say my question is, like, how could people live keeping that in mind? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do people, I guess, be more spiritual, be more connected, and affect in a positive light? Like, not, oh, let me go control the society, but hey, maybe let me actually do good tomorrow. Let me succeed in life. Let me get, I don't know, let the podcast blow up. Let's get a good, you know what I'm saying? Let's have a good episode. Like, how do people harvest that into good?
It's gonna happen anyway, depending on whoever it is. It's already chosen, and it's not like Jack Walter or Arthur Genova Ruiz is chosen. Doesn't matter who you are, the individual. The source is gonna just pick whoever. Doesn't matter who it was just gonna be somebody. And if you want to be in accordance with that and higher your vibrational frequency, you have to sit in the silence and meditate, because that's the hardest thing for people to do. You try and get somebody who has trauma that hasn't healed to sit in a room with their eyes closed and breathe for 10 to 15 minutes, they're going to freak out. And not only am I living proof myself, I teach people, I coach people, my best friends or people that I meet through Instagram. And that's the number one thing, is they can't sit still. Mm-hmm. That is the basis. You have to get to the root cause of everything. Before we cure hunger, before we pick a president, before we figure out what war we want to get into, before we know what shirt we want to put on in the morning, we have to figure out how to breathe. Because that's what ties everything back to source, right hemisphere. What is another word for saying something correct? Right. Everything is about the right hemisphere of the brain. The pineal gland.
Yes.
And it's in our own language, bro.
I like that.
They trick us. It's in our own language and we don't even realize it. That's why words are what spelling. Spells.
Mm-hmm. Well, I want to get back to a little bit of the question, which you kind of just said with the meditation, right? That meditation, you think is just a good start. I mean, what was it like the first time you meditated? I mean, you're saying it's this like really powerful experience where I guess you're kind of confronted with everything that's in your mind. You know what I mean? Even the bad. And if the bad is that much that you haven't confronted, maybe it's a lot. Like, what was it like the first time you meditated in a way?
So unknowingly, I was already born with the ability to have advanced meditations, which is astral projection, but it was in forms of sleep paralysis at first. So I grew up with sleep paralysis my whole entire life, and I'd get it weeks and weeks on end. At points, it would go away, but that's how it started. Was me not knowing that I was actually able to get to a point of singularity and kind of be removed from my body physically and spiritually. But it wasn't until later on in life is when I actually was able to astral project a lucid dream fully. But on top of that, when I first meditated for real, probably COVID, when I started studying all the religions and studying people like William Donahue, who break down how the Bible talks about stimulating the pineal gland, which I will say again is in the right hemisphere of the brain, and that's why everything is the right hand of the Father. I learned Kundalini through him, and him teaching the Bhagavad Gita and all of the lessons in those scriptures, and how everything kind of just is all talking about the same premise of being able to manipulate your energy, bring it from your lower half to yourself to your higher, and feeling it and using the electromagnetivity of your body, driven by the sexual energy, to bring that sacred fluid that released from your pineal gland back down from your spine. That's why everything is 33, right? Everything is about the meditation and what happens in your brain. The sacred fluid meets at the tip, Comes down the 33 vertebrae of the spine. That's why Freemasons at 33. That's why Jesus dies at 33. It's this the descension down into the sacral bone. This chrism oil, which is also the name of the water when you're baptized and they put it on where? Your head. Because your new life. That's what the meditation is. It's all about trying to get to a new perspective, a new life. Travels back up the spine and goes back into the right hemisphere of the brain. Going back to that Simon Peter Bible quote. You couldn't catch any fish on the left side. You're not going to be able to. You got to throw it on the right. And then he caught 153 fish. Right. 1 + 5 + 3 is 9. Mm-hmm. The number 9 for thousands of years before Christianity is the number for divine intervention and spirit. That's why women are feminine.
Mm-hmm. Why?
Because women represent the spirit, emotions. Emotions is spiritual.
Okay.
And masculine because men created the 90-degree angle. And we create infrastructure. We're the leaders in building, inventions, conquering. We are the physical beings. Women are the spiritual. Very obvious. Women are curvy. Men are more linear, chiseled.
I see.
Masculine, we have a penis.
I mean, yeah.
Feminine, women have a portal. 1s and 0s, the binary code.
Yeah.
We are the microcosm.
Well, I wanted to ask because, like I said, a lot of people talk about meditating, and that's what I mean. Like, I guess, why do you think there is this like sudden rush of I guess almost like emotion, in the moment? Maybe it's good emotion, bad emotion. Like, that's what you experience. You'd say like is like that rush of emotions is like, oh, like what was like, what, I guess, like, did you do it for the first time 10-15 minutes alone?
I did it for 5 minutes a couple of times, but when you want to do something, you're able to do whatever you want. So I wanted to do it really bad, so I did it, and I was able to do these 15-minute, 10-minute meditations off the bat because I
didn't know it's off like, like you had stuff from it to you, like, oh, I'm having trouble. Like, this was like, damn, I'm awake with like.
You gotta remember, bro. I was having nightmares where I couldn't move out of my body since I was a child. I was having night terrors like crazy. All these weird emotional feelings, and I can't move. When you're in a state of sleep paralysis, you're in the transfer period of coming out of your body. So you can't move. That's why you can't move when you have sleep paralysis. And you can't speak. It's because you're not in a dream. You're awake, but you're removing yourself from the physical plane. And that's why people get scared and then they freak out, because all the emotions that you're feeling at that point are all the emotions that are whirling around in your body, but they're becoming front face. They're becoming the first things that you're visualizing. Once you understand that emotion, every emotion is just a chemical and an electromagnetic frequency that is passing through your subconscious. Once you know where to move these different things and disperse of it, you become a complete control of your emotions and use them you can either use them for the right or use them for the wrong. And that's how we live in the world that we live in now, is because the people decide to use that knowledge for wrong. That's why demonology is all about the removal of empathy from the physical. Because when you remove your emotions from physical actions, you have war, you have greed, you have lust, you have gluttony, you have addictions, all of these things. And that's where that comes from.
Damn, I see. So, I mean, how often do you meditate? Like, you meditate all the time, because I see you post like meditation, leading people into meditation and stuff like that. And look, I mean, honestly, like, I feel like we should meditate. Honestly, we should do like a little like co-stream or something like that. Like, I'll be there, you'll teach me meditation. We should do it for promo for their show coming up, which we got to talk about as well.
Yeah, for
sure. Show coming up. Is your show kind of a way, like, you guys are gonna harvest energy into child trafficking or anything like that, or this is good?
You're sick, bro. That's funny. No, it's definitely not.
Just kidding, guys. No, we gotta support the show. Go check it out. Do you want to talk about it a little bit, just so the people know?
Yeah, shout out to the members. Shout out to everybody that's performing. We got another show coming up November 21st. Moments on Fulton. It's the second show of the summer. Second show. The first one was pre-summer. It was it March 23rd, Lito? When was it?
What?
The first show, Moments on Fulton. It says March 23rd, and we had a crazy turnout. It was super, super dope, great vibes. So we're trying to run it back for the second one. We got a dope lineup of artists. We got 11 artists, myself included. Will be 12. Yeah, we're just gonna kill it. It's gonna be another great show. We got a lot of great artists that are performing. We have people that are Gonna have tables out with merchandising, different brands are gonna be there. My boy, shout out Miley 0017. He's gonna have his own brand 17 there. I'm gonna have some clothes there.
We were talking about setting some up, us, me and you, for the show. And yeah, we've kind of fell through because of Shiv's unfortunate surgery. But yeah, we definitely got to set some up.
Do something for a later show.
Right. Yeah, I think the next show we should talk about it. I mean, you know, like, I think it would be dope. I think the fans of the Mic Check, the fans of Slouch, the fans of the whole collective, I think they would enjoy. I think it would be great to do something like that. Really, really do something. So yeah, I'm excited for the show. I'll probably be popping out and saying what's up. So you guys can go meet me there. It'll be a little meet and greet. Like, I'll be like, hey, what's up? Come on, Jack from the Mic Check. Hopefully Chiv will be there too in recovery, but he just didn't want to like bank on it fully to you know, let's let anyone down or anything like that. And I said, hey, look, we haven't even heard from him yet. You know, we're just saying we haven't even heard from him today at all. So still recovering and all that stuff. I do want to ask you about music because obviously, look, you told us last time your music, you're taking a break. Has this break kind of ended? How do you feel like you're actually now finding, you know, you last, for the people that maybe don't remember, you last said, you know, you want to make music on the topics that you're discussing, but you kind of want to learn more and also figure out kind of how to do that. What's the best way to do that? So have you figured out, do you feel like you know enough to do music about it? Do you feel like, I mean, obviously I know you're always going to be learning and stuff like that, but do you feel like most importantly though, maybe did you find a way to incorporate it?
Absolutely. I feel like when I spoke to you in the last podcast, when I was talking about where I was just letting momentum kind of just take me wherever, and this is how I feel in the moment, so this is the action I'm going to take, and then whatever happens after this action, I'll then proceed to follow with another action off of the reaction. And that's where I'm at now. Honestly, I said I was going to take a break from music. I said I was just going to push this stuff. Now that I've pushed, you know, and when I mean this stuff, I'm pushing, you know, studying the occult, reading the Bible, pushing the meditations. Now I'm seeing a good amount of success from it very early on from that conversation. Very early, very, very new attention has been put onto my page. So that's growing. And it's kind of giving me more motivation, or it's kind of giving me more of a reason to go full force with the other side of my artistic ability, which is not only speaking to people, but also performing and creating music. So now I'm creating music that is also talking about these things, and everything is just kind of doing its things. It's still doing its thing though. So right now I'm creating music and I have an album coming out.
No, nah,
But then
how are you gonna
anything-
drop that on us? Yeah, you gotta album.
So, like,
know what the.
But it's not something. Here's the thing. It's like, yeah, I have an album coming out, but I'm working on it still. Like, I don't have a date. It's not like I have plans. I'm always creating music. So right now I just decided to take the music that I've been making and just put it together because it means something. Everything is about just, for me, a lot of my albums are not things that I sit down and I'm gonna make each individual song about this album. A lot of the times my albums are just recaps of who I am at that point in time. So I realized I went to the studio once, I made 4 songs, and then I looked at all the unreleased that I have throughout the last year, and I'm like, oh shit, well, everything kind of just matches. So boom, album. Maybe I'll make a couple more and add them on it just to give it a little bit more flavor, but everything is just coasting. I'm just going with the flow.
Well, and then do you feel like, how do you feel like you're touching on this topic musically? Like, is it through the storytelling of the lyrics? Is it through, like, what would you say is kind of like your biggest tool and kind of talking about this through music?
So I always come with a different variety of styles. Different genres is something that I always do when I put projects together. A little bit more recently than the past, that my last couple projects have been very consistent in terms of sound. But if you look at my earlier projects like Raw 1, Raw 2, Culture Shock, Slouch Volume 1 when it was out, all the songs on the album had different vibes, different settings. So I'm going to have some rap, I'm going to have some melodic, I'm going to have some slow, I'm going to have some new type of vibe, new type of genres in there. I'm going to have features from different artists that I've never had before on the
don't even tease?
nothing I'm going to tease now. And that's just a marketing purpose. I'm gonna be real. It's just marketing right now.
Hey, you gotta save it for the next podcast.
Yeah, I gotta save it. I gotta save it when the time is right. Like I said, everything is about momentum.
Would you break it on our podcast though, or is it gonna be your own thing?
No, am I breaking up?
I don't say yes. It's third.
You're asking to have back on again. Listen,
Bro, look, we just said we're gonna have you. You're gonna be a regular. We're gonna definitely have you again within the next few months. We gotta talk to you again about all of this stuff, and hopefully, I hope next time we'll talk to you and you're like, hey, the album's coming out this day, hopefully, or we can get organize the episode around the album drop, And I think, look, it's about just teasing it on the socials, getting the following going and all of that. And yeah, I mean, look, it's been a beautiful episode. I think, I think
enjoyed my first time.
yeah. How do you feel? Was it big stuff?
It was good. It was good. I got to learn a lot from this guy, actually. So
I thought you did a phenomenal job. And
thank you.
do you want to shout out the store before? Come on, New York's best podcast. Got to go to
best podcast. Got to come to the best store in NYC for all your luxury clothing, luxury jewelry, luxury accessories, stash goods. 305 East Houston Street, New York. Got to come through.
Yes, come through.
Oh yeah, gotta come through.
Anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
So yeah, show November 21st. Link is in my Instagram bio. Link is gonna probably be in the bio of this YouTube description.
I got you. Yeah,
appreciate you. New music out now. Mic Check Freestyle is out.
Yeah,
it's all streaming platforms. I don't know. Apple Music is kind of being a little crazy with me right now. I'm not gonna lie. Spotify, it's out on. I'm gonna put it on SoundCloud as soon as I leave here. Anything else? Listen, I'm gonna keep pushing the other stuff. I'm gonna be going live every so often. I'm gonna be scheduling live sessions for lymphatic breathworks. So whoever wants to join and just sit in the silence, I'm gonna play the sound drum as well in certain lives. I'm gonna just keep pushing the positivity and the awareness and having these discussions. Hopefully this could get to a point where other podcasts hit me up as well. So just more people, more fan bases are hearing this information. And
but no, won't forget about us, right, bro?
No, of course not. You guys are my first. You guys are my older.
Nah, I don't want you to be all famous. And you're like, nah, who are these guys? These famous and now, but it's gonna happen. So there's naturally, even if you don't want it.
If I don't want it to,
maybe it will though.
What if you want to say that they don't want the fame? They always want the fame.
Nah, so maybe you do want the fame.
No, I don't want the fame.
Nah, but what if
fame is
took this and recognition off though?
I want recognition.
Oh, recognition. You know what I'm saying? Like just to recognition. Then you know what I'm saying?
I'll take the recognition. That's normal.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say.
So I don't even want that.
Not necessarily fame. I don't mean in a literal sense. I just mean like recognition to be successful, what you want to do, and be noted for it. Be like,
I definitely am on that wave.
Yes, and I think you're on your way. And hopefully we're on our way. So I feel like hopefully each podcast we're both bigger. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the goal. So peace out. Thank you so much. And yeah, guys, go hit up my guy. Hit me up. Hit up everyone. And
47 Slouch on Instagram. 47 Slouch YouTube on YouTube. Slouch on all streaming platforms. Go check me out. Go check out the guys. Donny, the Mic Check. Another amazing episode. Thank you to the guys for letting me on. Hopefully you learned something. And hopefully you guys found something to critique.
Yeah.
See you guys in the comment section.
See you guys. Peace. All right, that's the episode.
That was good.
By the way,
What does that mean? An hour and